Do you think you're the devil himself?
No, but I do have a good mirror.
Do you have any new inappropriate friends for me? That sentence, you won't hear it in the Crown or in any official statement. Yet it's very real, typed in 2001 from Balmoral Castle, signed A, and sent to Ghislaine Maxwell. That email, kept secret for 20 years, is now in the hands of the FBI. And it blows apart the official version the British royal family has given about its connection to Jeffrey Epstein. In the 3 million pages of the Epstein Files, Prince Andrew doesn't appear as an awkward acquaintance. He appears as a central figure in a system of power, money, and sexual abuse. In 10 minutes, I'm going to show you the evidence Buckingham Palace never wanted to come out. It all begins in the late 90s. Prince Andrew, then second in line to the throne, meets Jeffrey Epstein through Ghislaine Maxwell. Very quickly, the two men become inseparable. Epstein hosts Andrew at all his properties, including his private Caribbean island, infamously nicknamed Pedophile Island. Andrew, for his part, brings Epstein into Windsor, Sandringham, Balmoral. In 2000, he even invites him to the 18th birthday party of his daughter, Princess Beatrice. This friendship goes far beyond socializing. Andrew, then the UK's trade ambassador, uses his government contacts to do favors for Epstein. In 2008, Epstein is convicted of soliciting a minor. He spends only 13 months in jail. When he gets out, Andrew is still there. He writes to him so they can catch up on lost time. But in 2019, Epstein is arrested a second time, and this time the house of cards collapses. He dies in prison, and a young woman, Virginia Giuffre, breaks her silence to accuse the prince. Virginia Giuffre says she was recruited at 16, delivered to Epstein, and forced to have sex with his powerful friends. Among them, Prince Andrew. She accuses him of assaulting her 3 times in 2001, when she was only 17, in London, New York, and on Epstein's private island. She describes a man convinced that sleeping with her was, and I quote, his birthright. To back up her story, one photograph travels the world. It shows Andrew, his hand around the waist of Virginia, then a minor, inside Ghislaine Maxwell's house. For years, the prince denies it. In a disastrous BBC interview, he claims not to remember the photo and suggests it might be fake. But a 2015 email, declassified in February 2026, will shatter that defense. Ghislaine Maxwell herself writes to Epstein, in 2001, I was in London when Virginia met Prince Andrew. A photograph was taken. The proof is irrefutable. In 2022, Andrew agrees to pay Virginia Giuffre £12 million to settle the civil lawsuit, with no admission of guilt. But silence can no longer be bought, because the Epstein files are starting to speak. Here are the 4 revelations that turned this scandal into a political earthquake. First revelation: Andrew never cut ties. He always swore he broke with Epstein in December 2010. But on February 27, 2011, he writes to him, "Let's keep in close contact, we'll play again soon." 2 months after the official split, he's still talking about close contact. Second revelation: the Pact of Silence. A few days later, as the British press begins to uncover the story, Andrew reassures Epstein, "It would appear we're in the same boat. Don't worry about me." A message of solidarity with a sex predator, not the outrage of an innocent man. Third revelation: the order from Balmoral. This is the most chilling email. In August 2001, a message signed A and sent from an address linked to the prince lands in Maxwell's inbox. It says, "I'm at the Balmoral summer camp. Have you found me any new inappropriate friends?" Maxwell replies, Sorry to disappoint, I've only been able to find appropriate friends. This exchange, which reads like an inside joke between accomplices, suggests that from a royal palace, the prince was ordering victims. Fourth revelation, the panic. On March 11, 2011, when a newspaper is about to publish the first allegations, Andrew writes to Epstein and Maxwell, "I can't take any more of this. This has nothing to do with me. You must tell them." It's not a denial, it's a cry for help. These emails don't show a man trapped by a bad friendship. They show a prince who knew, who took advantage, and who counted on his status to bury the truth. These revelations raise a burning question: why was Andrew never interviewed by the FBI? The answer lies in internal UK government documents, revealed in April 2026. The Home Office refused to execute the American investigators' request for an interview, fearing they'd be sued by the prince. The U.S. attorney in charge of the case would later write, "We got absolutely nothing. Were they protecting him? I presume so. The money from the settlement also remains a mystery. Where did the £12 million come from?" MP Rachel Maskell pointed the finger at the Duchy of Lancaster, owned by the monarch, and therefore potentially the funds of the late Queen Elizabeth II. The monarchy refuses to answer. Today, Charles III has stripped Andrew of his titles, and Prince William has stated he will banish his uncle from his future coronation. But Epstein survivors, led by Reinero, won't settle for this sidelining. In April 2026, during Charles III's first state visit to the United States, they protest in front of the White House. They demand the king force Andrew to testify before Congress. This scandal isn't just a sex affair, it exposes a system where royal blood long meant impunity. Virginia Giuffre, who died in 2025, spent her life demanding justice. In her memoir, she wrote that Andrew considered abusing her as his birthright. That line is a condemnation. It doesn't only target a disgraced prince, it targets an entire institution that took 20 years to let go of one of its own, and only under the pressure of millions of pages of evidence. Today, 3 million more pages of the Epstein Files are still being analyzed. What will they reveal? What other names? What other secrets? The British monarchy holds its breath, but history does not forget. If this investigation has opened your eyes, subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss our next revelations on the Epstein Files. Comment JUSTICE if you think Andrew should testify. And share this video. It's by making this evidence visible that we'll stop it from being buried all over again.